Today we will discuss Raktaja Pratishaya. Raktaja Pratishaya is not told by Charaka, only Sushruta and Vagbhata. They have explained. And what Vagbhata explained about the Samprapti, that when Dushta Rakta Dhatu enters the Nasagata Sira, Raktaja Pratishaya is produced. Dushta Rakta Dhatu enters the Nasagata Sira, Raktaja Pratishaya is produced. And he tells Pittaja Pratishaya Samana Lakshana, according to Ashtanga Hridayakara. Pittaja Pratishaya Samana Lakshana. And we know Srava will be Ushna, Ruksha, Tamra and Pita. And what Sushruta tells, red Srava from Nasa. That is a same Tamra Varana Yukta Srava from Nasa. Both tell eyes become red. That is the redness of the eyes. Then Urogata Lakshana appear and he says Ura Suptata. Sushruta tells Urogata Lakshana appear. He said Ura Suptata. Both say that Durgandhata will be there. He says Durgandhata in Shwasa. He say Durgandhata from Shwasa and Mukha. Then Sushruta tells smell perception stops. White, small, snigdha, krivi crawl from the nose or fall from the nose. And what Ashtanga Hridayakara tells, Kandu in Karna, Akshi and Nasa. Whatever these symptom is there, perception of smell will stop, and white, small, snigdha, krimi fall from nose. This is told by Ashtanga Hridayakara in case of Dushta Pratishaya. So Sushruta tells this in Raktaja Pratishaya. Ashtanga Hridayakara tells these symptoms, smell perception stops, and white, small, snigdha, krimi fall from nose in case of Dushta Pratishaya. Absolutely no confusion, both are correct. Even krimi can come in Dushta Pratishaya also, krimi can come in Raktaja Pratishaya also. Right. If you see the pathophysiology, it becomes very clear. Now, collectively, let us see the symptoms. When Dushta Rakta Dhatu enters the Nasagata Sira, Raktaja Pratishaya is produced. All Pittaja Pratishaya Samana Lakshana or red Srava from nose. Eyes become red, both same. Urogata Lakshana appear, Urasuptata almost same. Durgandha in Shwasa and Mukha, Durgandha in Shwasa same. Smell perception stops. White, small, snigdha, krimi fall from the nose. Here what it tells, Kandu in Karna, Akshi and Nasa. So these are the Raktaja Pratishaya symptoms. Now we will see all the symptoms pathophysiology one by one. Eyes become red. That is because of nasal reflex. Say, as the name itself suggests, nasal reflex. Stimulus is also from the nose only, and reflex will also from the into the nose only. What happens? Any inflammation is there, or irritation is there, or allergen is there, that may stimulate the efferent reflexes, and efferent reflexes go to the CNS. But what happens? The efferent reflexes from the CNS, whatever the reflex comes, it comes to contralateral nasal cavity and also to the conjunctiva. So any one nostril, if it is irritated, what happens? The response may come to the other nostril also, as well as to the both conjunctiva also. So it can cause, this nasal reflex can cause the redness of the eyes. Now, even release of inflammatory mediators from the nose. So whatever the infection is there, inflammation is there, it can cause inflammatory mediators. It can cause upregulation of the circulating cells, reach the eyes, are primed to release more mediators to cause more severe symptoms. So because of the release of inflammatory mediators and their upregulation, it can cause the redness of the eyes. Another possible cause is nasolacrimal duct. Through the nasolacrimal duct also, the infection may spread. infection may spread from the nasolacrimal duct, but whatever the spread is there from nose to eyes, it is little bit difficult because the natural flow of secretions or flow of material is from eyes to nose, and opening of the nasolacrimal duct is very well guarded. Now once we have completed how the sensation takes place, now we will see how the dysfunction takes place. Right. So dysfunction takes place in two methods. Two pathology are there. One, obstruction of the airflow over the olfactory epithelium, then which is secondary to coexisting chronic rhinosinusitis or polyposis. Here whatever mucus is there, in that mucus odorous molecules will dissolve. But if mucus secretion is very huge, or if it is very thick, or if there is some mucoid polypoid growth as happens in nasal polyps, what happens? The odorous molecule cannot reach these dendrites. Odorous molecule cannot reach these dendrites, and then what can happen? That whatever the odorous molecule is there, it cannot reach, so sensation of smell will not be felt. So this is what happens in case of excessive mucus production, and that can be associated with olfactory dysfunction. Now another pathology is severe inflammation is there, and inflammatory infiltrates, they itself affect the olfaction in the absence of mucosal hypertrophy. Another pathology is what? Here in this area, because of because of severe inflammation, all the inflammatory infiltrates accumulate here, and they cause the obstruction of whatever signals are going, they cause the obstruction in passing of the signals, and that can also cause olfactory dysfunction. So in two types of pathologies, the olfactory dysfunction can take place. One is what? Excessive mucus production can be there, or polypoid growth is there, which is causing the obstruction in passing of odorous molecules or odorous molecules to the cilia, that itself is obstructed, or severe inflammation is there, and that inflammation is causing obstruction in the passing of signals. So two types of pathologies may lead to olfactory dysfunction. The olfactory dysfunction, this Gandhagrahana nasha, can be temporarily or it can be permanent. Some of the viral infections, they can also cause this olfactory dysfunction. Thing is, the most common cause of permanent hyposmia or anosmia, that is no sensation at all, are upper respiratory infections. These can damage the olfactory epithelium or central olfactory structures as a result of viral invasions into the brain. Most common virus related disorders are the common cold, hepatitis, influenza and herpes. So these can lead to permanent hyposmia and anosmia. Now we are discussing Raktaja Pratishaya and Gandhagrahana nasha we are discussing. So olfactory dysfunction can be because of excessive inflammation, the infiltrates entering into that area and causing the blockage of signals, or excessive mucus which is or polypoid growth which is causing obstruction of the odorous molecules reaching to the mucus area. Now as far as Raktaja Pratishaya is concerned, it appears that excessive inflammation is the main cause. See, because what Vagbhata has told, Raktaja Pratishaya, Pittaja Pratishaya symptoms are same. And what are the symptoms? So the Srava are Ruksha, Ushna, Pita and Tamra. So there is no Snigdha, Kapha or excessive Srava is not there. So and Raktaja Pratishaya, reddish Srava is there. This is what they have told. Now as far as Raktaja Pratishaya is concerned, excessive mucoid secretion may not be there. It may be because of severe inflammation which is causing the Gandhagrahana Nasha. Now next they have told Ura Lakshana appear, or some Ura Suptata is in another Acharya have told. Now any upper respiratory tract infection, if not treated properly, it may cause all the lower respiratory tract symptoms or symptoms related to the chest. Now next symptom is Durgandha Yukta Srava. Purulent nasal discharge is a common presenting symptom associated with infections of the upper respiratory tract. If the secretions are dry, or if the secretions become dry, they also can emit bad smell. Now, the most likely diagnosis of purulent nasal discharge is viral upper respiratory infection, bacterial sinusitis, or if microorganisms if multiply in that secretion, they also emit bad smell. See, bad smell can be because of the secretions becoming dry, or secretions it is viral or viral or bacterial infections. If the pathogens come and they invade, then also infection, the discharge can be very purulent. Next is Kandu in Karna, Akshi and Nasa. The mucosa of the middle ear is an extension of the mucosa of the upper nasal passages. So nasal inflammation may contribute to edema and inflammation of the eustachian tube. So whatever the inflammation is there inside the nose, it may go into the middle ear cavity, and the inflammatory mediators which are released inside the nose, they can act in the middle ear also. So whatever symptoms are there in the nose, same symptoms can be produced in the middle ear cavity also. And we have already discussed that upregulation of inflammatory mediators inside the nose may cause inflammation or itching, redness inside the eyes also. So, and the inflammation inside the nose, it may cause itching in the nose itself, or itching in the middle ear cavity also, and itching in the eyes also. Now next symptom is small white snigdha krimi from the nose. This is what Sushruta has told in case of Raktaja Pratishaya. But the same symptom Vagbhata has told in Dushta Pratishaya. Absolutely there is no great difference of opinion. Both are absolutely correct. Right. We will just see. If you see the pathology, it becomes very clear. Now, the krimi, these are the maggots which were removed from a 50 maggots. You can see 50 maggots, these were removed from the nose. Right. And even a video is available in net. You can go through. So what is this? This is nasal myiasis. This is nasal myiasis, and it occurs in case of atrophic rhinitis. In patients of atrophic rhinitis, nasal myiasis occurs. Now, atrophic rhinitis is of unknown etiology. Etiology is not very clearly known. Very few researches have been done. And it is characterized by progressive atrophy of nasal mucosa and underlying bone of the turbinate, and the presence of a viscid secretion which rapidly dries and forms crusts which emits a characteristic foul odor. So a viscid secretion will be there, and that when it dries, it emits a bad odor. Now, nasal myiasis larvae are cylindrical, tapering towards both ends, creamy white in color. So that is they are Shweta, Snigdha, Krimi, small Shweta, Snigdha, Krimi, which come from the nose. This is what told in Ayurveda. And nasal myiasis, same, cylindrical, tapering towards both ends, and creamy white in color. Now, little bit pathology we will see again. Histopathologically here, See, histopathologically, there is an early loss of the ciliary columnar epithelium and a characteristic squamous cell metaplasia along with a chronic inflammatory change. So here in one study it has been noted that loss of ciliary columnar epithelium is there. In another study, vascular involvement is there. Two characteristic types of vascular involvement are described in atrophic rhinitis. Type 1 is common, where end arteritis obliterans, periarteritis and periarterial fibrosis of the terminal arterioles are seen. Type 2 is less common and is associated with capillary vasodilatation. So here in atrophic rhinitis, what happens? The vessels of the nose are involved, and there is type 1 vascular involvement and type 2 vascular involvement, and later that inflammation will destroy the loss of ciliary columnar epithelium. Now then next what happens when there is loss of epithelium? When sensory epithelium is also lost, then patient cannot feel that some flies are coming inside. Now why the flies will come? See, when the secretions are viscid and when they dry, secretions are viscid, they dry, and when they dry, they emit a very bad smell. So this bad smell attracts the flies, and when the flies come in and they lay eggs, they lay up to 200 to 300 eggs. These eggs hatch, and then within 2 to 3 days these maggots crawl out, and along with there can be epistaxis also. So what happens? First, the inflammation or involvement of blood vessels is there. Type 1 vascular involvement, type 2 vascular involvement, right? And then the ciliary epithelium can also be lost, and if the sensory nerves are also affected, then the patient cannot feel any sensation. Meanwhile, how the secretions are? Secretions are thick and viscid, not thick, sorry. Secretions are viscid, and when they dry out, it will cause bad smell, and this bad smell attracts the flies, and the flies come in. Patient cannot feel that flies are coming inside because already his sensation is lost. Then the flies lay eggs. These flies lay eggs, and after 2 to 3 days the maggots come out, and while coming out they may even damage the blood vessels, and there can be epistaxis. So now let us see what Vagbhata has told. See what Vagbhata has told. When Dushta Rakta Dhatu enters the Nasagata Sira, Raktaja Pratishaya is produced. He clearly tells the involvement of blood vessels here, right? But why this difference of opinion that Krimi are there according to Ashtanga Hridaya, Krimi will be there in Dushta Pratishaya, but Sushruta tells in it in Raktaja Pratishaya only. Absolutely not a great deal. Thing is, when Durgandhata in Shwasa is there, when there is lot of Durgandha is coming from the nose, they will attract the flies. See, from up to this stage, he has stopped here, Ashtanga Hridaya Kara has stopped here, and he has included the Krimi in the Dushta Pratishaya. Sushruta has added Krimi here only. Absolutely no difference of opinion. Symptoms are same. Pathology is also same. Treatment will also remain same. Right. So thing is, what is happening exactly? Blood vessels are involved. Viscid secretions. Secretion dry. Emit bad smell. Meanwhile, inflammation is severe. Inflammation is causing the loss of sensation. Even if maggots come, person cannot feel. Larva, this first flies come, not maggots. Flies come. Even if the flies come, patient cannot feel the sensation. Then flies, these flies emit, they give some, they lay some eggs, say about 200 eggs they lay. After 2 to 3 days, the larvae come out, eggs hatch. Within 2 to 3 days, larvae come out, maggots come out, and they, even while coming out, they may damage the blood vessels also. So there can be bleeding also. So absolutely all the symptoms of Raktaja Pratishaya, all the, say, red srava, right? Then Durgandha, smell perception stops, white, small, snigdha, creamy from fall from the nose. All symptoms are explained. So what is happening? Blood vessels are involved. Vasodilatation is there. And this is leading to the Raktaja Pratishaya. Even in Pittaja Pratishaya, what we had seen, that there is lot of reaction which is going on. There is lot of heat which is there, and inflammation is also there. So here also in Raktaja Pratishaya, same symptoms, similar symptoms are there, and similar pathology is also there. So only Raktaja Pratishaya and Pittaja Pratishaya Chikitsa is same. Right. So these maggots can produce intense irritation. They also can sneezing, lacrimation, and headache with blood-stained discharge oozing from the nostrils. And if it is not treated, in the later stage, there is active epistaxis and maggots crawling out of the nose. And these maggots can even damage the nasal structures. That is so Dushta Pratishaya or all the Pratishaya Upadrava can also happen.